We got a challenge right here.
Good feet, but come straight back. Everything you do, maximum effort.
Hi, I'm William Wilson. We're here for the 2018 Carolina Senior Football Showcase. These guys are out here already on the field, and they are bringing some heat. There's a lot of talent, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of enthusiasm, and them boys out here hitting. I'm watching these coaches have to slow them down just a little bit, but not too much. But what this is about, giving these D2, D3, NAIA guys a chance to go to college. A lot of these guys, they have talent, they may have been undersized, or they just didn't get recruited for whatever reason. This gives them another chance to go out there and change their lives. Last year, 15 kids were offered scholarships the day of the Combine. And that's basically what this is. It's a Combine for high school kids, and it's changing lives. There are kids and coaches here from all over the place: Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. They're from everywhere. But they all start at one place: registration.
Very excited. It's an opportunity. That's all I really wanted. Just to show everybody what I got, see what happens from there.
It's tremendous. Get to scout so much talent and, evaluate as much talent as we can to try to bring them on to be a Monarch.
18 or over, you can sign the waiver yourself. If you're not, you parent or guardian to sign that waiver, okay?
This, was able to provide us with a chance to see them live, see them work out, and get some numbers on them, and meet the kids, which is, you don't really get that at a lot of other places.
Right now, we've got one of the coaches that's out here, a Clemson great, my friend Mike Barber. Could have went to Arkansas, his grades were a little bit better, but that's okay. My man, Mike Barber. How you doing, brother?
Hey, actually, Arkansas did recruit me while I was at Fort Union.
So the first bad decision he ever made in his life. But just joking. But Mike, you've been out here for a while doing this kind of thing, and I see you involved with a lot of different camps. What is about these camps that just keeps bringing you back to them?
Well, this camp here is, you got guys that's second tier guys, as people call them, second tier guys that has been overlooked, haven't had a chance to get recruits or scouts coming in to watch them. This is right here, the showcase with Charles Arbuckle started a year ago. It gives the kids that don't get the exposure. You got, looking at scouts, recruits from Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, so you have different coaches, different schools representing their school here in right now today.
Okay. Now, you were a linebacker. So what kind of linebacker talent are you seeing out here with these guys?
There's some talent out here. You got some guys that I think, even though they think they're linebackers, they can play other positions because of their not big enough, the size, or that you got great feet. When I mean great feet, they can run, they can move quickly. So some of those guys might get transfer, but probably get positioned to other positions. We got some kids out here, number 43, I don't know his name, I just call him 43, that's his name. There's some other kids that's look, I wasn't drafted. I didn't go straight out of college to I went to Fort Union Military School. So these kids' directions are gonna be different directions. It's not gonna be a straight line. So yeah, there's talent out here where guys can go to college and possibly go to the NFL.
Again, you got a degree from a major university.
Yeah. And I set out to do it. I went to the NFL for 5 years. And I asked the veteran players, should I go back to school to get my degree? And they said, absolutely, you should go back and get it. So the first 2 years, that's what I did. Came back, and plus my mom and my granddad. My granddad and my aunt has their degree. And having that degree, I mean, you can't go to the NFL without going to school. You can't have the grade. If you don't have the grade, you can't play college ball. So every kid wants to go NFL, but first you got to go to college first. Yeah, go 3 years, not one done. So you have to have these grades.
A free education, a free opportunity with a scholarship from here. You got an opportunity at 2 careers, an NFL career possibly, or whatever career you get if you can't play football. So you got twice as many chances from one scholarship, and that can change a lot of things. Mike, I appreciate you coming out here. I appreciate everything you're doing with the kids, helping these kids out, sharing your expertise and your experience, and go out there and make them boys great.
Go Clemson Tigers, not Arkansas Razor Lacks.
Woo, pig, suey. There's like 9,000 Tiger teams out there, only one Razorback, because the cream rises to the very top. Now the kids are registered, they're getting their gear, they're getting their equipment. There's the perfect time for us to take a quick break and pay some bills.
When you get your times for the respective events, okay, we're going to have scribes out there. Make sure they have your jersey number correct and your time correct.
We go one-on-one. Running backs, linebackers, you'll be on this field down there. And then we have the running backs, linebackers will be here. And then we go one-on-one. We have a group of wide receivers here. And a group of wide receivers, tight ends on that field over there. And we'll shotgun that as we go.
The game of football has changed so much over the years. The technology, the way they show the games, the way we watch the games, the way we even view the games. But now I'm noticing, I've just found out today, the way they measure the vertical jump is different. I was able to talk to my buddy Reggie Walker, and he was explaining to me how all this technology works.
Reggie, there's some new technology out here today that you were showing me earlier with the vertical jump. Can you explain that to me a little bit? What you looking for?
Yeah, so basically what it does is the concept of it is the kids are on a pad. They start on a pad. They go straight up and down. They don't bend their knees. And they push, they reach for the sky basically. Mm-hmm. And the concept behind it, the new technology, what it accounts for, in addition to how high you get off the ground, it accounts for your weight, which is part of how you land. And all of that is a factor, because oftentimes what happens is we look at a kid that's 290 pounds and think, oh, he only jumped 24 inches off the ground. Well, he's also 290 pounds, so you have to account for that. This technology does that for you, and so it allows more of a true, accurate number in terms of a vertical jump for a kid.
Okay, so it takes some kind of the falsity out of that vertical jump. So if a guy's 6'7", but he's 130 pounds versus 6'7", 310,
right,
that's going to be a totally different height, but doesn't necessarily account for athleticism.
Absolutely. And what you really want to do with these kids and with anybody when you're testing is you want the most accurate of information, and this allows for it to be closer. Nothing's perfect, obviously, but this allows for that concept to be closer to a reality, because you're getting a full sense of exactly what a kid can do based on their own height, weight, and athletic ability within themselves, not as compared to anything else.
I got you. Now, say somebody's a big offensive lineman. What's a respectable vertical for a big offensive lineman?
You want to be any good number out here with this particular piece of equipment is anywhere, probably I would say above like 23 to about really anything above that. But if you're in that 23 range, you're doing some good things. If you're up around 28, 29, everybody's eyes are going to light up. If you're over 30, their eyes are really going to light up and people want to talk to you.
So just unofficially, I jumped a 42, but I couldn't catch and I didn't want to take a hit across the middle.
Woo
so
pig.
I couldn't play football. But yes, woo pig.
Man, that is amazing. Who would have ever thought we would go from jumping and touching pegs to jumping up and landing on pads and a computer calculating our vertical leap? What's going to be next? It's amazing. We'll be right back to the Carolina Senior Football Showcase right after this.
Ooh. Oh, we got to call out. This is a challenge. We got a challenge right here. We got a challenge.
Don't back up.
Before I say anything, though, I want to tell you one thing. This is like a job interview for you guys. So you start now. When you see people, you put your hand out, you shake their hand, you look them in the eye, because that's what life is about. Be large, be big. This is your opportunity. The other thing is, let's have fun out there today.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm honored and excited to be here for you, because I know what it's like to have an opportunity to live out your dreams. And so what I want to do is speak real brief really, really brief. I want to talk to you about how to win. The W in win starts for learn how to weather the storm. Because life is a lot like football. In football, you have adversity. The question is not will life knock you down. The question is, will you get up and what did you learn? The I in win stands for this. Invest in yourself. How much water do you drink? How much rest do you get? How often do you watch Huddle? How often do you understand the games? How often do you study? Have no regrets. The key to making yourself better is by learning to invest in other people, because you give away what you possess. And the better you make other people, guess what happens to you? You get better. Once again, that's what happens in football. The N stands for this. Never do anything that is going to keep you from your goals. When you get out here today, the issue is not, do you understand everything? But if you make a mistake, you go 100 miles per hour. No hesitancy, no fear, no regret. 1, 2, 3. No regret. 1, 2, 3. No regret. 1, 2, 3. No regret. Have a good day, man.
Guys, that's good. Go straight ahead. Go straight ahead.
That's my pastor right there, Pastor Derwin Gray. Man, after listening to him, I don't know if I want to tackle somebody, go pay some tithes. Either way, I'm ready to play some football. Once these kids finish registration, and before we even got the cameras rolling, that's how fast this whole combine is moving. They'd already done the 40-yard dash, the medicine ball toss, and the 5-10-5 shuttle, and the vertical jump. And now, these guys are getting ready for their individual sessions. We'll be coming up with that pretty soon. And as one person in particular, during the break, I had a chance to talk with Charles Arbuckle, who helped put this event together and spearheaded this whole thing.
We're here with UCLA great and Indianapolis Colt great Charles Arbuckle, who kind of helped put this program together. And how's it going so far, Charles?
Well, the first and foremost thing, I got to congratulate my wife and her group of volunteers of getting the registration going. We got that through unbelievable. I mean, that was the one thing last year we were all kind of keeping our, scratching our head, hoping we can get it better. They did a great job there. And then after that, when we got on the field, there was 40s, there were verticals, there were different things that just show the guys' skills, cone, shuttle drill. And then that's the part that they could also get a chance, the coaches can see them in some explosive movements, and then after that we brought them up and got them ready to go to their individual and now one-on-one, 7-on-7 drills.
Have you seen anybody that's kind of stood out to you so far?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that have a lot of ability, and I've talked to some of the coaches. We only had about 105 kids last year. We had 280 registered. I don't know what our final number is, but there's clearly some talented individuals, and these coaches are excited about that because that gives them a chance to come see it all in one place.
Now, I've known you for a while, and I know this is something that's very, very close to you. Why is this such a close thing to you?
Man, I've seen so many guys that probably thought they were D1 guys and they didn't get that opportunity, and now they may be at home where I grew up or just not having that opportunity. I talk about getting that educational equity. That's what we're trying to provide. I don't know where they're going to go as far as football is going to take them. I just want to get them to that next level, and that's what we're trying to do with this showcase.
Let's check in with David Davis. David's with the lineman. What's up, Dave?
And now, William, we're going to go probably to the most unsung position on the football field, the offensive and defensive lineman. T.J. Washington, former Carolina Panther lineman, did a great job all day with these guys. And as you can see here, they get pretty physical. A lot of size and strength amongst these guys. And the coaches work with them on their footwork and other techniques.
Here we go.
Some great moves when it comes to the swim technique and a lot of speed off the edge.
You have him dead right. Let him come to you. But when he comes, you got to punch. You got to punch him. Right in that chair. Switch go live. You ever go over slide?
Great information from Coach Washington. As you can see here, he wants to make sure everybody's doing the right thing, the right way.
Let's go, let's go.
Great information coming from all these coaches. Not only Coach Washington, but all the coaches are doing a great job at giving instruction.
Here you go. Here we go.
One of the great things I've seen in this drill was everybody was extremely positive. Coaches gave positive reinforcement on everything that was done with these guys.
All I'm gonna say is this. As a center, even though he's over here, straight back. Because what you're doing, you're hiking the ball, and he's over here. You are the quarterback between his whole line. If you turn one side, you're gonna weaken the other side. Straight, good feet, but come straight back. That's the way to listen.
Again, wonderful information, letting that center know that he is the quarterback of the offensive line. He makes line calls to let the guards and tackles know exactly what their blocking scheme is going to be. One of the best ones all day. As you can see, he's been using that swim move all day on the offensive line. He's done a great job in all the drills also. And this young man, he's done a great job using his speed, and he's very fast and athletic coming from the edge. Back up to you, William.
Man, was that not impressive? Those big guys were moving. Who knew big guys had feet like that? I don't know if they're exhausted now, but tonight when they go home, they're going to get some sleep. Now, as a NASCAR guy, I'm not really sure what I was looking at. Earlier, I was down there and I talked with TJ Washington, who played at Virginia Tech and played at NFL, so he knows what he was looking at. Let's find out what he had to say about that. TJ, what were you seeing out here today?
I'm seeing these guys with great footwork, great enthusiasm. They're looking really good right now. They're trying to make their expression with these coaches and get themselves a scholarship. They're doing very well. They're enthusiastic, they're working as a team, and they're just working hard.
Now, I noticed I was watching you screaming. The big thing you kept saying to the offensive guys, let him come to you, let him come to you, let him come to you, let him come to you. I kept noticing you kept saying that to these guys a lot.
Yeah, because the offensive line, one thing about the young guys don't know is they want to go out and attack. Offensive line is a unique position. No glory, no accolades, but if you don't have offensive line, they can't run the ball, they can't pass. And what I'm teaching the guys is take your first step and let them guys come to you. And when you get them, we have 300-pound guys, lean on them. And that's how you're going to block. But they're so aggressive in high school, they're usually the most talented guys on the field. They can make up for their mistakes. But here, these are college guys that when you make that one mistake, they'll beat you. So I'm teaching them the little finer steps that basically you're going to do in high school, college, and pros.
All right, you don't want to be like this. You want to be like this. All right, and then you want to explode. Once you get to your hip, you got to explode to the pass rusher. All right.
When it comes to pass blocking, we can't set and just say overset. Because if you overset the guy, he's going to beat you. If you underset the guy, he's going to beat you. You have to take a step, let the guy come to you and punch, and then drag him. And because our goal is basically it's a mirror. My job is not for you to touch my quarterback or my running back. So if I can put my body in front of you, then you can't get to the guy.
Why is this such a big deal to you?
Because I was this child in 1990. I'm from Eastern Shore, Virginia, small country town. I was on my way to John C. Smith, already committed. And what happened was I played a game against an all-state linebacker. And no one knew my time. I have a graduate class of 99 people. No one knows who I was. That one game, I had one of the greatest games I ever played in high school, Virginia high school sports, and that put me on the map. And with these guys, you never know. I was a late bloomer. These guys are late bloomers. So this is why it's passionate to me, because these guys just need opportunity. Because you never know. One of these guys might play NFL or they might be the next president. You never know. But they just need this chance to get an education to better their lives.
It's always great to hear from the guys who actually played the game and have played in the trenches. We'll be right back to Charlotte Knighton School at the Carolina Senior Sports Showcase.
When he comes, you got to punch. You got to punch him. Down that tip. Switch on line.
David, you're moving at light speed down there. Can you tell us what we might have missed?
We're going to take a look at the position on the football field that's right in my wheelhouse, the wide receivers. We make things happen, and it's a great time down here on the field. The wind is a little rough down here today, and I was so proud of these guys and all these drills just fighting through it. The ball was moving on them a lot, but they kept their eyes on the ball, and they made great adjustments to the ball, even though the wind was blowing. Just like right there, we seen a ball that was fluttering a little bit, but the receiver made a great adjustment while the ball was in the air with his body and made a great catch. And as we can see there, great move getting off the ball and getting separation. But like Charles Barkley said, operation was a success, but the patient died. He dropped the ball. One of the things that's impressive about this young man is his size. But then again, he did a great job of getting off the line, but the drops, they'll keep you on the sideline. That was a great stick move right there, William. Good post move and a great adjustment to the ball in the air. Good hand-eye coordination. Overall, great day down here with the wide receivers. A lot of skill, a lot of finesse, and I tell you, sometimes you got to be a little bit scared. And now, William, I'm going to show you what the linebackers were doing a little bit earlier today. In this particular drill, we're going to see these guys getting good form, teaching them how to get in front of the guy, using good balance, keeping their shoulders above their shoulder pads above their knees, so the guys won't get run over. Getting to that hole is very, very important also. Getting to that hole even quicker than the running back makes a big difference in these guys taking on these hits. And as you can see here, former Clemson linebacker Mike Barber giving some great advice to these guys. Again, it's been all day with these coaches, Williams. These guys down here on the field have been doing a great job and staying very positive with these guys, which will go a long way with them. But as a linebacker, you have to have a little edge to you. These guys love going through these drills, but the one thing they miss is the actual hitting part. They love to hit and run through somebody. Again, here's Mike Barber giving some great stuff, great information to these guys. Coming from Clemson, I'm sure he's giving some A1 information about making it to the next level. Form tackling, as you know, is very, very important these days, especially with these concussion protocols. Our linebacker coaches today did a great job of teaching these guys to tackle with their head up and not dipping their head, and it will save them from a lot of injuries. And now, William, I'm very excited about watching these linebackers play, and I'm going to turn it back over to you.
We'll be right back to Charlotte Knighton School at the Carolina Senior Sports Showcase.
This is my second year being out here, so it's really cool. I see like some familiar faces in terms of the coaches that are out here recruiting guys. I see some familiar faces like Marcus and Charles Arbuckle, and then of course I see sort of the growth from last year to this year. There's far more alignment, which is huge. I think when you're talking about D2 or D3, some of these smaller schools, one of the hardest things to do is find big guys. And when you're trying to find big guys, getting an event like this to showcase some of the big talent is really critical, because there's only X amount of guys that are, 6'2", 6'3", that can weigh, that can push 275, weigh 300 pounds. There's only a handful of them. So getting some more guys out here that can fill out into that size is really critical.
For young people and athletes, young athletes that don't necessarily get, that first tier look, programs like this gives them a chance to come out and for coaches to see that level of talent that that just flies underneath the radar. I believe that's the same thing that happens what we're doing with the Celebration Bowl and the MEAC SWAC Challenge, which is our kickoff game that we're relocating to Atlanta this year. It gives NFL teams the opportunity to see great talent at the HBCU level that may not necessarily get on that top tier radar, but these games, because they're nationally televised, are putting them up there.
And a lot of these guys are good enough. They just have to find that place and that right fit for them. And that's one thing that we try to preach, is what I do, is finding your right fit. It's not all about going to the biggest school or, going to the school with the biggest name. It's about finding the right fit for you that fits your skill set.
There's over 1 million kids playing high school football every year in this country. It's impossible for coaches to see everybody. And so an event like this gives an opportunity for not only the kids to have a chance, but the programs to then kind of double check their lists and say, hey, we might be able to get a steal here.
And then you get to spend a day here with guys who've done it at a high level, who understand sort of the nuance of the game, and I think that's a big plus out here. Watching guys take that next step, take that big, take that little bit of coaching and add it to some of the athleticism that they have to help them hopefully get an opportunity to play football after this weekend.
My communication with young athletes is, first things first. The reason you play the game, and the reason you is out of love, but also out of assuring that you can get your education covered.
Now on the field right now, there are some really extremely talented guys. They're big, they're strong, and man, are these guys fast. Let's go down the field right now and take a look and see what they got going on.
Thank you, William. As we segue to the running backs, man, as you can see down here on the field, these guys are very excited to get started. One thing I noticed, man, as a former player and a former coach, the coaches in this group today have been doing a great job with these kids, teaching them the proper technique for a running back, making sure that they're keeping a low center of gravity, shoulder pads over their knees, things like that. And of course, ball handling is very, very important. One of the guys that stood out so far, as you can see, was number 302. Dawson Sams of White Knoll High School in Lexington, South Carolina. He's been doing a wonderful job in drills today, and he looks like he's a very strong runner. We'll see how it goes as the rest of the day plays out for him. And I'm not for sure, William, if Reggie is helping or he's just in the way. We'll know about that. He'll probably pull a muscle handing balls to coaches. But I was so proud of these guys. As you can see, great footwork. And again, there you go. He's fumbling the ball. That's why he was a defensive back. But all these coaches did a great job. I love the coaches who get out and actually show guys how to do things instead of just telling them. And as you can see, man, you're going to have your slip-ups and guys fall down, but it was very, very good on the coach's part to tell these guys to finish the play out. Get up, finish the play, no matter how bad it looked before you falling down and things like that. Always finish strong, and these guys did a great job of doing that. And as you can see, William, the great job that the coaches are telling these guys about keeping balance and have quick feet when you're doing this drill. Changing directions for a running back, as you know, is very, very important.
Flow through. There we go. That's it. Run them back. Run them back. Come on. Get to me. Go.
And now I'm going to show you what the running backs are doing a little bit earlier in this session. You got some great work against DBs and linebackers. It's not every day that you see running backs go against defensive backs, but on the next level, they're going to have to go against defensive backs, maybe in a slot position, or if a team is playing nickel, then a DB is going to be on that running back.
Hey, we got to sell. Let's sell. If you're going to run a wheel route, sell that flat. Sell that flat first.
And as we can see here, this is Dawson Sams again running a great route. A little bit underthrown by the quarterback. Great interception by the defensive back there. And as you can see, the linebackers are very, very prepared, man. This whole session has been very, very competitive on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, because these guys want to put up a good fight and a show for the coaches who are here today. And also very proud of the quarterbacks who today have to throw the ball through this wind. The wind has been up and down at times, but the quarterbacks did a great job of throwing the ball through the wind. One of the favorites today, William, was Rocky Rivers' Jalen Wilson. The coaches kept calling on him to come back and run plays throughout the day. And as you can see here, he's he's learning to keep his feet on guys, but he was the one the coaches really, really had their eye on.
You can't coach speed. You can't coach speed. You coach technique.
And he's exactly right. That coach was telling his player, man, anybody who's got speed, you can teach him how to run a route, but it's very hard to coach speed. Running backs running a wheel route. One of the things that you're going to see a little later on as we go through the day, we're going to teach these guys how to stick moves. You see wide receivers sticking their move to get into a route. Well, running backs have to learn how to do the same thing. And also, as you know, William, we like to have running backs included in all the routes.
Call out. This is a challenge. We got a challenge right here.
And leave it up to Reggie to get something started. Great interception by the linebacker here. Ball was a little underthrown, but the concentration of that linebacker to actually come down with that ball was very, very impressive. And that's a peek into what was happening a little bit earlier.
We'll be right back to Charlotte Knighton School at the Carolina Senior Sports Showcase.
Now we're going to watch some of these running backs run routes.
We're getting ready to run routes now, okay? You're going to be with the quarterback. You have a quarterback that's going to have two sides going at a time.
I don't care if you're fullback or halfback.
There's 20 of you right now. So what I'm doing, I'm splitting you up in sets of 5s and 6s with the quarterback group, so that now when you guys are there, stay tight to them so that we can go. So give me 5 guys real quick. Go to this group right there. Here we go.
This is going to be very exciting when we get into the running backs running routes. But just know, parents and all you watchers out there, we do tell our guys to hydrate. So as you can see here, we're taking a little break with the linemen, offensive, defensive linemen, making sure they get some hydration in them. And I will tell you, down here on the field, William, it's very impressive watching these guys run routes. It's almost like they had some training from the wide receiver position and just transferred it to the running back position. Very, very impressed with the guys using their hands also down here, William. You can see the footwork is very good, but a good receiver and running back needs to learn how to catch the ball with their hands and not their body. And that's a great example of that right there. And here's one of the more impressive running backs from West Meck. As you can see, great hand-eye coordination there, pulling the ball in for a great catch. Kevin Peoples did a great job, has been doing a great job all day. And as we know, West Meck made a deep run into the state playoffs, and they're an up-and-coming team, not only in Charlotte, but the state. Again, very impressed with usage of hands, keeping the ball off your body.
Let's stay flat, don't drift.
And as we can see here, I'm watching Dawson Sams, again, of White Knoll High School in Lexington, South Carolina. Does a great job of keeping his balance, jumping for the ball, but again, hand-eye coordination, 100% on time. And even though there are going to be some drops along the way like that, the good footwork and learning to live to the next play is very important. Staying positive with these guys is very important. That's a little snapshot of what's going down here on the field, William. What's going on with you up there?
All right, so you saw him once, but now we have him again. This is the best time for coaches to really see how these DBs play against receivers and vice versa. So what do you think? What have you seen out here so far?
Well, I've seen a couple of things. One of the things that's really been, I thought, a step up even from last year when we did this. The running backs are actually better route runners than we've seen historically. Again, we're talking about a 2-year now sample size. Running backs doing a great job finding ways to get open. I see quarterbacks with a better level of anticipation in terms of figuring out who to throw the football to, making the proper reads, and then the straight competition. And one of the things that's great about this is I had a college coach walk up to me and say, hey, that kid playing safety, I want to look at him at corner because I'm interested in him. And we can walk over to the defensive coaches and say, hey, move that kid to corner for 4 or 5 snaps. This coach wants to take a look at him. Because it's not about us. This is an opportunity for the kids to showcase themselves to these coaches. So when we can do things like that mid-drill, which we've done already 3 or 4 times, and I'm sure we'll have a couple more of those situations, that's really the key to this competitive competition phase of the showcase right now.
Right, because to a true football coach or a person that knows football, you can't hide talent. They see talent. They can look at a person that tells, you know what, this guy may not be a great safety, but he'd be a good corner, or vice versa, whatever. Now, what other things have you seen do you see anybody just kind of just stood out that just said, wow, this guy has some moves?
Yeah, there's actually a couple of kids. There's one running back. His name escapes me right now, but first of all, I think the kid, I made this joke earlier, and you're a suit guy, so you would get this. I think he wears a size 50 jacket right now, and he's 17 years old. He's got big, broad, thick shoulders, strong legs. He's got a football body. Plays running back, but he's one of those bigger backs, might be able to maybe move him to fullback if you're playing a smaller fullback type situation. So that kid's got some ability. Another kid I see out here, taller kid, pretty interesting kid. He's probably about 6'1", 6'2", might be a little bit taller than that. He can probably play some defensive end, put his hand on the ground, or you can turn him into a safety. So I think this is really an opportunity for these kids to really show and let these coaches really evaluate where they can move them within their own systems to fit these parts together.
Thank you so much for what you're doing now. We got to wrap everything up. Kevin's saying it's time for you to get back out there in the field and make these kids better.
Yeah, I gotta get
so thank you for your time. Appreciate you coming out there for that time, and look forward to talking to you again later.
Absolutely. I'm bouncing.
It was fun. It was exciting. It was fast. I liked it.
We were looking for some key positions, and this, was able to provide us with a chance to see them live, see them work out, get some numbers on them, and meet the kids, which is, you don't really get that at a lot of other places.
At first, I was nervous about it, but then when I got rolling, I kind of opened up. I was okay, they just like me, just want to get to college. So then I made a couple of new friends and stuff.
I think I did great. I literally have no regrets, like they said up there in the bleachers. I have no regrets.
It's an avenue, though, to find ways to get you to where you want to be in life, both in education, as a person, student, and athlete, that we talk about at Manchester University.
I like how, you can get, you're not overlooked, and, you get, a second opportunity with these coaches out here and show them what you can do, and hopefully.
How do you think you did overall?
Oh, I feel like I did great.
An enjoyable recruiting experience because you get to accomplish a lot of things in a short amount of time.
So it's a bunch of guys that we're going to follow up with, and some guys I think come help us go compete for a conference championship right now.
Like Coach Carr said, love the game. All right, it's a harsh game. You got to embrace the hard. Hard's what makes it great. Right? If it was easy, what's the old saying? Anybody would do it? Well, then why isn't there 700 people out here? It's only you guys. Nice job. It was fun to be around you guys today. And treat these coaches with respect. They're here to examine and evaluate you as people and football players. It was a pleasure to be out here. I wish the best of luck to all of you guys. I hope the opportunities come along for you. And then hopefully we can come out and keep doing this, Charles, each and every year and get a new group. And then all of a sudden some of you guys look back and say, you know what, because of that event, I got to play college football.
We've talked a lot about today about how the players that are out here coaching, how it does a lot for them. And of course, we've talked a lot about what this program does for the kids. What we haven't talked a lot about is how much it does for the coaches. Some of these coaches are from smaller schools. They don't have the budget to fly all over the country and recruit. So having events like this where they have so much talent that's right in front of them at one time, 200-300 guys that they can look at and evaluate right there from a drive away is huge for them. It gives them a chance to fill their rosters, look at some talent, what's up and coming, and kind of fill in some spots where they got left off. And this event has done a lot to do that. And now we're going to talk with some coaches about what they've seen out here and what they see of the talent.
Hey, William, I just grabbed the mic from Casey, and I just wanted to come in and let everybody know what we're getting ready to do here with the college fair portion of the Carolina Senior Showcase. And what this represents is the culmination of the day's events where we started out, the kids, they registered, they went on field, had the opportunity to showcase their skills and talents in front of several Division II, Division III, and NAIA schools. And then after that, they come back here into the Student Activity Center here in Charlotte Latin to meet with these schools. And so now they get the opportunity to meet one-on-one with the coaches that had opportunity to view them out in the public. And so when they get the chance to meet with Mount Union, out of a Division III power, 13-time national champion out of Ohio, and meet with the Maryville out of Tennessee and Ohio Northern, it's an opportunity for them to bring it all together to continue to live their dream of playing college football. Now let's throw it over to Kevin.
Coach Cavell, you're with Brevard College. Tell us about Brevard College and what a prospective student athlete could expect to go up there.
Brevard College is a small college to Division III in the mountains. They can expect to have continuity, expect to have respect when they're on campus, and that they're going to be taken care of, making sure that they get a degree when they leave and leaving their legacy there at Brevard.
Coach, did you like the experience here at the Carolinas Football Showcase?
I sure did. I really commend whoever made arrangements. They were very organized, sound. They knew exactly what to do, and they told us beforehand what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. So we were very well informed with this showcase. Unbelievable talent. I mean, I'm surprised that a lot of these kids out of high school has been overlooked, and we're the lucky ones to come out and see them firsthand. And out of the uniform, out of the helmet, you actually see their emotions, their body language, and that's what we really want. We want good football players, and then you can see it out here.
Coach Gavea, we got one of our other broadcast partners. He's went to Arkansas, and he's a Dallas Cowboy fan, so I always give him static about it. I'm with a real Redskin here, and we know what real football is. So, William Wilson, we got Kirk Gavea, two-time Super Bowl champion with my Washington Redskins. Try to top that. Hail.
All right, thanks, Kev. Appreciate that. ADSN got people everywhere. We're like Visa, everywhere you want to be. Well, this idea started in this man's mind, so it's only fitting we finish this off with his own words. Charles Arbuckle, the founder and creator of the Carolina Senior Football Showcase. What was today's success for you, Charles?
Hey, it's a success anytime you can get these young men out and have an opportunity to be in front of colleges and be seen. I'll tell you the one thing, you asked me who started it. Well, Phil Camp started it in Houston. I saw it in California. But I can remember coming back after working in California and talking to Mo Collins, our good friend, who is now passed, but he just kept saying, hey, just do it. We'll help you out. We'll be here to support you. And that just kind of stayed in my mind, and I'm glad I put it together and had all these guys from Derwin Gray to Tom Luganbill to all the – I mean, there's so many guys. I had my buddies coming back from college to help also. But the one thing that we all talked about is we got more out of it probably than the kids did because the game has given us so much.
The whole thing was about the education. Yeah.
Well, I think that's the one thing we want to highlight because a lot of kids have probably got to this point and they've really focused on football, and even if they've made good grades, that's fine. But in order for them to now get that next level, they're going to have to really focus on academics because in order to go to some of these schools, they're going to get financial aid because of their academic capabilities. Right. And we want them to understand that no matter how good a football player you are, and if you play 10, 12 years in the league, all those guys have degrees. Some of them have multiple degrees. Some are going to doctorate school or getting their PhD. So that's the one thing we were talking about, making sure understand the educational equity that you are putting in the bank that's going to pay dividends for the rest of your life.
Now, we're going to get ready to wrap this up. One last question. What's the next phase for this?
I think the next phase is to get these young men in the school from this class, keep working and starting to grow this. It's interesting when people come out and see it and really get an understanding of it, they want to do it. So I've got some guys that were out here, Mike and Mel Farr, Mel Jr., they want to go do it in Detroit. Eric Kramer, quarterback out in a bunch of places, Detroit and Chicago, wants to do it in Chicago. We want to give those guys the opportunity to understand basically the playbook and start it because it's free for the kids and it's free for the coaches, but it's more than just free. They get something long-term for us. So that's what we want to do. We want to grow this here in Charlotte and the Carolinas and make it an annual event.
Well, thank you so much, Charles, for coming out here doing this, what you're doing for the community, for the kids, for the colleges, for these students and everybody involved. And we're wrapping up this year's Carolina Senior Football Showcase. We're wrapping this up now at Charlotte Latin School. Thank you for hosting us. We had a great time. It's a wonderful event. We look forward to seeing you again next year.